Hello, I'm Danielle, and I work as a youth services librarian here at the Ames Public Library. And who are you, Ellen?
I'm Ellen. I work as an assistant librarian in the Adult Services Department.
And we are here to give you some recommendations for our second annual 12 to Try reading challenge. And so for the month of November, the challenge is a book that has been banned or challenged, including adult or youth books. So stay tuned for our suggestions or come to the library and check out our displays.
Okay, shall I begin?
That would be awesome. Thanks, Ellen.
I'll begin with a classic, and that is The Color Purple. Alice Walker wrote this book in 1982. It won the Pulitzer in 1983. It has had film adaptations. It had screen adaptations. It's so important because it's about Celie. It's about a woman in South Georgia, 1930s, I believe. I have the era right. She's incredibly poor. There's sexual abuse in this story. There's violence. But her self-discovery is so important. Her friendships with women, her own awakening and self-discovery, her relationship with her sister, help to move her through these really difficult things. Just a very powerful book of self-discovery. Not easy to read, but important.
It's a good one. I remember reading it desperately in high school. Like one of my classmates checked it out. I'm like, what happens next?
Yeah.
But speaking of high school, I am actually doing something a little different for 12 to Try. So we're doing some youth books. And so I have a young adult book that is set in high school. Our main characters are high school students. And so this book is Eleanor and Park, and it's by Rowell. It's set in 1986 Omaha. And it's about these two misfits, Eleanor and Park, who meet on the school bus and find out who they want to be and fall desperately in that first love that you think about, 20 years later. It's really beautiful. They have a hard life, each of them hard life in different ways, but they find a lot of love and a lot of friendship together. I also grabbed this one because some people might know the author. She does adult books as well. This last year, her newest book that came out in August is Slow Dance, and it's actually one of Reese Witherspoon's book picks. So if you've liked that one, I would definitely say pick up Rowell's this one as well, Eleanor and Park. I will say,
who like both the
adult go up and down. I will say a very exciting thing. It has vile profanity in it, according to the challenge. Okay. So, and of course, that's why you read things like this.
And another book that I have, again, I went with classic, and now I'm going with more contemporary. This book, Genderqueer by Maia, Kobabe, I think is how you say their name. A very powerful book. It is written as a graphic memoir, so graphic novel format. The illustrations are wonderful. It's really telling. It's just, you're getting a sense of how this person has come to understand their own gender identity. If you're a person who never thinks about that, it's a great book to read because it immerses you into the mindset of somebody who's thinking a great deal about their gender identity, how to navigate those things and the worries about being accepted. If you're a person who does think a great deal about your own gender or sexual identity, it could be a great book because you might be reading about somebody who's voicing and using images to express the feelings that you might have. So I loved it. I thought it was really insightful. I thought about it for weeks afterwards.
Sounds really interesting. All right. The last book I have to share is actually very different from maybe the ones we've talked about over the years or, in last year's 12 to Try, but this is actually a picture book. And this is called Love in the Library, and the person who wrote it, the author is Maggie Tokuda-Hall, and the illustrator is Imamura. And it is set based loosely on the author's grandparents' life in an internment camp that they met at during World War II. And it tells the story of how her grandparents George and Tama, how they met in the library and fell in love. And, you know, picture books are for everyone, because just think of having some of them, you know, are a little bit more juvenile, but some of them are also just like a really well illustrated short story. But this one is, you know, a true story of love and resilience at the Minidoka incarceration camp. And it's just about them finding the miracles. And the author actually used her grandmother's diary to write it. And she has this direct quote, I think is extremely powerful. It's directly from her grandma's diary. And it is, "The miracle is in all of us." And so in this very, very hard circumstance, these two people found miracles. There's actually some amazing back matter as well, which I think is also really important. Using picture books, you may just want to read it for yourself, or if you're reading it with a child. But this is, the author's note is actually where the banning came in. Scholastic, the book company, asked her to rewrite her author's note to take out a paragraph and take out an instance that she used the word racism in it. Okay. And she said she wasn't going to do that. And so that was kind of her thing. So illustrations are beautiful, story is beautiful, and just a wonderful way to talk about things and think about things in a short way.
Yep. So that's great. So just 4 of many, many books that have been challenged or banned in some way for some reason. But we encourage you to read books that have difficult subjects, topics, content.
They make you think. And, you know, some of them may make you think of things you've never thought of before, which is amazing.
And they may make you uncomfortable, which is all right too.
All right. Thanks so much for listening to us today.
Bye-bye.